Hi everybody, Ken Heinz here, HFR President, here with the HFR 500 June performance update. June was a very exciting month for the hedge fund industry and for the HFR 500 because we saw continuation of the gains that we've talked about in the previous webinars for the first 6 months and for the trailing 9 months for the HFR 500. But I thought was really significant was that the drivers of performance changed. Through most of 2021, you've seen performance driven by this reflation, reopening trade that also brought along higher interest rates and expectations for future inflation. We saw that trade reverse in the latter part of June, where interest rates fell, and we saw high realized equity market volatility. And that's continued through the beginning part of July. But through all of those shifting drivers of performance on the macroeconomic sense, we still saw positive hedge fund performance in the month of June. So as I was saying, in June, the HFR 500 gained about 0.2%, which is a relatively small gain in what was a volatile month. But the stronger areas of performance were equity hedge and event-driven. Equity hedge gained about 1.2%, whereas event-driven gained about 0.4%. Both equity hedge and event-driven are where you find a lot of those stocks that you hear a lot about in the news today, the deep value, heavily shorted, out of favor equities, which you hear a lot about in mainstream news these days. That's where a lot of the exposures that hedge funds carry is in event-driven and equity hedge. Drilling down another level to the sub-strategy level, you can see the top areas of sub-strategy performance for the HFR 500 in the month of June were actually macro commodity, which gained 4.7%, and equity hedge technology, which gained about 3.5%. You can see both of those areas well ahead of the modest decline that you saw in the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the month of June. As I mentioned earlier on in this video, as well as on previous videos from prior month, with the gain in the month of June, the HFR 500 has actually gained close to 9% for the first half of 2021, which is the strongest first half of the year since index inception. Also, as I mentioned previously in this video and in previous videos, the two strongest areas have been equity hedge and event-driven, with event-driven posting a gain of 12.5% in the first half of the year, whereas equity hedge gained about 11.4% in the first half of the year. Considering the first half of 2021 now, but going a level deeper into hedge fund performance to look at the sub-strategies, you can see that the strongest areas of sub-strategy performance have actually been the macro commodity space, which has gained over 20%, and the activist index, which has gained over 18%. You can see both of those well ahead of the gain of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is about 12.7%. We continue to expect very strong performance in the commodity and the event-driven activist space to continue in the second half of the year. For more information on the HFR 500 index, please go to our website, www.hfr.com. There you can find more YouTube videos just like this one from previous months, as well as the investor guidebook, which is really a comprehensive overview of the index in its entirety and really outlines how institutions are using the HFR 500 to solve many benchmarking challenges and how the HFR 500 is really a solution for a lot of those challenges. In addition, please feel free to email hfr500@hfr.com if you'd like to arrange a time to speak with me personally. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next month.